This is the brand new Jay Mech Battle Pack from the Winter 2024 Dragons Rising set wave. It is the first officially labeled Ninjago Battle Pack, though don't get it twisted. This isn't the first low price point set Ninjago has produced with the expectation that buyers will purchase more than one. In fact, this practice has been baked into the theme since literally Wave 1, what with the likes of Ninja Ambush and Ninja Training Outpost all the way back in 2011, and that's ignoring those horribly overpriced LEGO Store exclusive minifig packs that they've sold over the years, usually including 4 minifigures, but higher priced. This is, however, the first time that Ninjago has featured a Star Wars style battle pack with the full intent to do so, that being an army builder. And judging by the standards of some of the best Star Wars battle packs, being honest, this one isn't all bad, though there's a problem, isn't there? If I were to buy more than one of these, wouldn't that mean... Yeah, it would. This isn't a battle pack I can give anywhere close to full marks on, as only 2 figures in the set are technically amassable. Buying more than one will start giving you unwanted duplicates of Floyd and Jay, which might even grow into an army, which is kind of the whole point of the battle pack in Star Wars, and theoretically if you wanted to just take the Jay figures, slap the inner mask on them, and pretend that this is an army of blue ninja rogue people for another story, you can do that. That's possible. All the power to you. But if you're looking for an army builder of faceless Ninjago goons, you might want to look elsewhere, namely Bricklink. But it's still marketed as a battle pack, which means buying more than one must have some purpose, right? Right? How about the mech build? That's a pretty nifty little thing. It's probably unironically my favourite mech out of a wave consisting almost solely of mechs, though I can't lie when saying it feels just the tiniest bit too tiny. You know what? I've got an idea. Yeah, you see that, right? There's 2 now, I bought another one. Which means I now have double the J's and double the lack of pays. Now I only picked up 1 extra as I decided to look at this through the lens of a typical Ninjago consumer, a kid relying on their parents' money to get new toys. When I was like 4, I was given the first episode 3 AT-RT Walker as a gift. At some point after I finished building it though, it broke. Big brain me decided that instead of just rebuilding the Lego, I wanted another one, a brand new one. And then the shelf that it was on fell down and it broke too. And so instead of getting anything else out of that wave, I went ahead and asked my parents, "You know what I want for my birthday?" Another AT-RT. I did stop there, thankfully. But do you see my point? Now, I'm not saying that most kids are quite as stupid as I was at that age, so I'm going to cut the number down to 2. This set is specifically being marketed as to purchase more than one of, so I'll do the bare minimum, just like a kid on a budget. And totally not because I'm not spending all my money on like 7 Senseloids, you maniacs. The mechs individually look rather cute together, but it's still lacking something. Hold up. Another brainwave. What if we took this one and we combined the 2?
That question set me on a journey of self-discovery. From the east to the west, the north and the south, I traveled the globe for inspiration. I toiled and overcame many tribulations in my adventure to further myself and broaden my horizons, all in preparation for this task.
To combine like 2 9-pound Lego sets with less than 300 parts combined into a decent looking mech.
And what a daunting challenge it was! The sheer level of mastery of the bricks required to pull something like this off, I can't even imagine!
Again, literally just 1 mech with basic structure already hashed out for you. Why are you pretending this is hard?
No one on earth had ever done this before!
Anyway, so I grabbed one of the mechs and tore it apart and then thought to myself, add one more and introduce no parts from the other sets. What do I get? Let's see what we create, shall we?
Now, to combine them using my epic master builder professional Lego Man strats and...
Oh, that looks awful. Ugh. Ooh. No, next. How did that even get in there? I think that's actually my best bet.
And there we have it, mates. First try done in less than 3 milliseconds using all the parts. Look at this, lad.
Truly my skill as a Ninjago Lego YouTuber person who's been doing this since 2010 shines through. No? I could be the next this guy, or that guy. Yeah, I've got a real future in this business. All jokes aside, this thing turned out interesting. I don't hate the design I ended up with here. It has a very Beetle-esque motif. Its front profile is solid, but as you turn it around, the cracks start to show. This is because I used almost each and every single piece included in the 2 sets. The only things I couldn't fit on here were the extra pieces for the guns, as well as the black connector pin duplicates. I wanted to see how much you could cram on, and what I ended up with without it looking too cluttered, just as you might have done as a small child. But as they say, sometimes less is more. And I feel like that very much applies here. There's a lot going on here, a lot that isn't needed. The back specifically could do with some removals, especially these sword pieces here. I initially left this second chest compartment piece off the mock entirely. I was able to rejig the rear end here to allow it to be placed on, but as you can see, it's in a bit of an awkward position. You could maybe see the two prongs as a final pair of wings to go alongside the beetle-like ones. I initially intended for it to reach down below and try to cap off the bottom of the model, like this. What I've ended up with here does look better than the wing configuration in my opinion. However, you lose some of the parts. I feel like this represents more of an insect's lower carapace than before. And then you can simply give the two sword pieces back to your other J, but I would recommend keeping this part, the yellow connector, as it's perhaps the only thing keeping these legs in place. Other than that, my man here has evidently skipped leg day consistently for a while. Although he might be armed with some heat, and packing a solid pair of guns, his knobbly knees barely keep him upright. Thanks to the solid friction hold mixel joints have when this is brand new, however, this isn't as much of a problem with some clever leg configuration. Wouldn't recommend having it stand completely straight upright, however, as over time will fall over. The floors don't stop there, however. As we move back around to the wings, these are very, very flimsy. Kind of impossible to avoid as there's no way to strengthen the connection even with the parts included in the set. I suppose it is rather fitting considering how flimsy actual insect wings are. Overall, I'm fairly pleased with the look this model gives, reminding me a bit more of a samurai-inspired insect as opposed to the dwarf warrior vibes I was getting before. The way that the second hull piece works upside down gives off a bit of a plaited skirt impression, which I leaned into this front detailing. Jay evidently still sits comfortably and snugly inside, and I've also added a bit of an impression of a backrest. Looks a little silly when he's placed next to it. I think it gets the point across a bit better when it's unmanned. The swords here restrict the movement of the wings. These parts aren't integral to the arm structure, so if you wanted to remove those, you certainly could. And then finally, I wanted to draw attention to the claw spares you get from each set. They're a bit finicky and would probably fall off after quite a bit of play, but I do think they look decent when standing still. Overall, this has some decent options for posability. Though these legs gravitate towards having it remain mostly in an upright position for stability's sake, it's not a massive problem, and I know of actual LEGO sets with worse articulation than this. More mech pieces. But again, this is all pretty much getting carried by those Chad mixel joints anyway. And that's it. I think I've been able to create an alright combination model in the end, despite my immense lack of building skill. The pieces involved were simple to recombine and didn't offer much challenge in going together in the manner that I wished them to. You imagine, however, that if you tried this with any more than 2, maybe 3, most, you'll be left wanting and with a lot of leftover bits. I especially don't recommend trying to add another section to the arms or the legs. Simple, intuitive, and obvious things like that which you'd run into in pretty much any custom build. Don't roast me too hard, this was like the first time I've tried to do something like this since like 2011. That's all we have time for today though, so please make sure to leave your comments in the thoughts section below. Right, make sure to leave your comments in the comments make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below.